Bunny rabbits, Easter eggs, and Jesus? What's the deal with Easter? Welcome to this episode of Social Cues. All right, hey, let's break that down a little bit. Easter bunny, not our thing. That's kind of one of those cultural things that kind of got woven into Easter. It was more about spring, and Easter happens at springs. I'm not taking credit for the Easter rabbit, okay? Easter eggs, very much so. Matter of fact, Christians co-opted that from the world around them because a lot of people looked at Easter eggs as the emergence of life from something that looked dead. And Christians were like, that kind of makes me think of Jesus coming back from the dead out of a grave to new life. Easter eggs worked for us. It was also a great symbol of what we call the Trinity. Talk about that at a different time. That was pretty cool. Jesus, though, very much so. Some people think like Easter, Jesus, we just co-opted some pagan celebration and made it our own. Actually, Easter is really tied to history, actually to specific dates. This is one of those moments where we can actually nail down dates on a calendar about Jesus. Isn't that cool? Because Easter is deeply connected to Passover. And Passover has a pretty clear calendar date, and so that's how we follow Easter. So one of the reasons why Easter kind of bounces around on the calendar. But here's the big thing. Why is Easter such a big deal for Christians? Some people think that Christmas is the big deal for Christianity, and it's kind of like the birth of Christianity. Not really. It's a nice origin story, right? And we love it, but we don't know when Jesus was born. Easter is the big deal. Because look at the very first church, when they started recording the life of Jesus Christ, they started with Easter. They started collecting and writing down testimonies, eyewitness accounts of what happened from the crucifixion, the cross, when Jesus died on the cross, to the grave when he came back to life. I know, I'll get to that in a minute. But that was like they started writing about that first because they looked at that as the foundational event that launched Christianity. Because look at every human being has an origin event. We celebrate the birthdays of famous people all the time. That doesn't separate Jesus. And we recognize the death of important people, right? If Jesus just died, that would have been the death of a meaningful religious leader, and we might have recognized the end of his life. We do that for a lot of people. It's Easter that separates Christianity from every other religion and every other event that makes Jesus totally unique. Because here's the thing. The first church really believed that Jesus came back from the dead. I know! What are we thinking about that? When they wrote their gospel, what we call the Gospels, the four accounts of the life of Jesus, some of the authors used language that was clearly legal language as if they were presenting a case in court. Luke, who is a historian, he wrote it using language to help you understand this was a carefully researched historical document. Others just kind of looked at this and pulled together a long string of understanding from the Bible, and they said Jesus is the culmination. They believed with all their heart that he came back to life. Matter of fact, they talked about the specific people who witnessed it. They described it in ways that were intriguing and grounded in history. They talked about how many witnesses saw Jesus. They understood that it was an incredulous event that you may not believe, so they packed it with facts. Big deal. Like I've said in other episodes, this isn't something you can really pull apart on your own, honestly. You should sit down with a group of people who understand the history behind this moment, what the writers were trying to say, because they'll provide some facts that you may not know, that could give you some rational certainty to faith. We call a good place to do that Starting Point. If you go to our website, you can find Starting Point and become part of that group. Honestly, Easter is the reason we are Christians. Without it, no deal. So you should come to an Easter service. Hear what we have to say. Go to our website, join Starting Point. Look, if this episode was helpful to you, you can like it, you can subscribe, or you can go down into the comments and leave some comments. We read the comments. Hope this helped you. Thanks, guys.